Hello and welcome to the next video for the Audacity series. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the bottom here of my dock. On your PC you'll have it stored somewhere else, and I'm going to simply double click on Audacity, and this will then open up my Audacity window. And if we remember from the last video, we've got our controls across here: pause, play, stop, back, forward, record. Our little selection tool, volume tool, etc. We'll come looking at those. Monitor and record levels, and we've got here where our sound is coming in from and where it's going out to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import in some audio. Now I've got some audio stored on my desktop called Alpha Disorganized, and that is what I'm going to bring in. So if you remember from last time, I go File, Import, Audio, and then it will come up eventually. There we are. I've got mine stored on my desktop. There it is, Alpha Disorganized. I'm going to simply click on there. That's what I want. And I'm going to hit open, and it will open up. There it is. And now, using my little selection tool, I can jump into the timeline and press play. And I can jump in anywhere I want. And we can hear. And there is our volume playbacks levels coming up there. So what I'm going to do is, obviously what I've got here is the alphabets.
R, G, H.
All in the wrong order, as you hopefully noticed. So what I'm going to try and do is rearrange it into a particular order, and I suppose that order might as well be alphabetical. So first letter I've got here, I'm going to click, hold and drag. Okay, I'm then going to press play,
R.
And it's the letter R. Now what I need to do is to separate it from the rest of this audio file, because at the minute it is attached to the big audio file. So what I want to do is to separate it, and I'm going to put it onto another track. And then I'm going to, on the bottom track, rearrange all the letters in the alphabetical order. So to do that, I simply go to tracks, because I'm going to create a new track, add new, and I'm going to create a mono track. Now we'll go through mono and stereo. With the PowerPoint I have, they'll explain all that. But as we can see here, the reason it's mono is because there's no separate left and right to this track. It is all one side. The left and the right are entirely equal. It is just one same signal sent to both left and right. So I've got my track here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this R, click, hold and drag, so it's highlighted it, and then I've got a little cut here, or Apple X or Control X if you're on PC. I'm going to do that, and notice it's now disappeared. Now the great thing about this is if I just put it anywhere, I think it's about here I'm going to go, I can then go and edit and paste, or Apple V or Control V, and there it is. But if you notice here as well, we've got this big red line here, and that's because Audacity is going to remember where that cut was. And if I go back in there and notice my indicator tool changes to an arrow icon, if I click in there, it brings the audio back. But also notice I still have it here, which is really handy because I've now got 2 copies of my audio. So what I'm now going to do is, I've got my letter R, I'm going to click in here and I'm going to press play. R-O. Doesn't sound good. And the reason is because I've got my letter R here, but it's also playing this track up here at the same time. It is simply going along my timeline and playing whatever audio is in that timeline. And it simply plays it from the start all the way through. But I would like to hear maybe just one track rather than the other. And to do that, I can hit solo. And solo means once I click on it, it will only play the bottom track. And we can see that because this track is now grayed out. And now if I put my indicator tool, hit play, we can see the O does not play. And I can do the same thing up here. I'll hit solo.
C.
And we notice the R does not play there. Similar sort of thing I can do where I could mute one track and therefore the rest of the tracks would play. But in general, we'll try and solo. Okay, so now I've got my letter R. What I'm going to do is go through these next letters. So indicator tool, clicks, holds, drags.
G.
Hit play, plays the section. It's the letter G. I'm going to cut it. And letter G is probably going to go right there. And I'm going to go edit, paste. Again, the keyboard shortcut, Control V or Apple V on a Mac. And then I'm simply going to go through all these letters here. And what I might do, click, hold and drag. Cut it. Oh, didn't even actually listen to what that last one was. So I can just simply go back. And if I remember, because I'm done cut, there's the line there. I'm just going to go back. It'll bring it right back in again.
H.
It's the letter H. So what I'm going to do is cut GH. It's going to put it right there. And I'm going to go edit, paste. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of this and speed it up dramatically on the video, so you will not have to listen to me do it all. Okay, so now I've got all the letters. I'm going to simply press play.
A. B. E. C.
So I've got my C and my E the wrong way round. Well, that's no problem. What I'm going to do is go to my little time shift tool here. I'm going to do is move this one here, which is that's the C. I'm going to move that just here for a second. Then I'm going to move this E here, and I'm going to move this one back again. Here, snap it up. Now we've got
A. B. C.
Okay.
E. D.
Again, similar, there's my D, so we'll just move that to there. There's my E up against there, and then
F.
and there we go. So that is all our alphabet then. Let's just move those up. So one of the important things now is we can simply play this and it will sound exactly like somebody saying the alphabet. All very easy. We'll just get everything nice and tight up. Move it in. Move this in. And then we'll move this in as well. And we'll move this in as well. Here we go. And this now will have the sound of somebody saying the alphabet. I'm just going to move along here so we can get the start. We've got a nice little bar here. This will move it all the way back and forth. Obviously, we've also got our zoom tools in there. So we can zoom in and we can see that we zoom as a plus. And then if I hold down the shift key, I zoom out. Cool. So let's use our bar down here. We're going to go right to the very start. I'm going to hit play and it should sound exactly like somebody saying the alphabet.
A. B. C. D. E. F. G. H. I. J. K.
And obviously it doesn't. It doesn't sound like that at all. And the reason for that is because we have a natural rhythm on our speech. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. And that natural rhythm is how we'd say the alphabet, possibly in a 4 or a 6 bar. This has been recorded in a different way. This has been recorded out of order. So there's very little we could do that can anyway make this sound like someone reading the alphabet. And the reason I've done that is to highlight a very, very important fact. And that is whenever you're recording audio, record it as you want it to be. Record it as close as you want to be. Be it whispering, be it shouting, be it two people talking, be it two people fighting. Try and get it as close as possible to reality in the recording process. Don't always think, I shall fix this in post, because quite a lot of the time, you won't be able to fix it in post. So if you're recording somebody whispering, get them whispering in the recording. Get them shouting in the recording, get them singing in the recording, get them, if possible, recording themselves upside down to give that feeling of what it's like to speak upside down. Get them in the recording, doing it as close as possible to what it'll be sounding like in the finished recording, and that will help you a lot. We'll show you later on how to do various effects and things like that, but that will come later on. Now, notice something here. If I drop in here and I press play here, let's jump ahead.
E, F, G.
If you hear there's a dip in the sound, and the dip in the sound is because here there's absolutely no sound.
F, G.
We never want to have that because no sound is unreal. Every room has an ambience. Every room has a sound. What you're listening to here is the sound of my kitchen. May not seem like it's much, but we can see in the monitors it is there. So very much we would try to avoid that. Okay? And we'd maybe just sweep across like this. And we can see there's a few little gaps, and we would try to pick those gaps up as much as possible so that there's no actual drop in the sound, that everywhere has some form of a room ambience. And that is very, very important when it comes to your recording. And I would fix that up there as well. We can see there's gaps a lot in there. So we would just click, drag over those, then use the time shift tool, bring that across, and we do the same here. Just to make sure that we always have some form of room ambience. There we go. And that then is the end of that recording. And remember, what we need to do is go File, Save Project As. Now, remember, Save Project is for an Audacity project, so this is not going to save the audio file. Now, one thing I did forget to do is I need to put right-click on my desktop, create a new folder. I should have done this right at the very start. Rename that folder, and I'm going to call that Connor Alphabet. See? And that then is where I'm going to save my project into. So I go Audacity, File, Save Project As. It is for an Audacity project, not an audio file. That's cool. That's fine with me. I'm going to click OK and save it. I'm not on the desktop. I'm going to save it into Connor Alphabet and hit Save. And it should be then saved into there. And there's my Connor Alphabet folder. And indeed, there is my disorganized project. And there's all the audio data that will go into making that sound the way it does. That's all the cuts for the audio. And that is that.